Due to Jurassic Park mainly being a large dinosaur zoo, very few other prehistoric animals were bred to accompany the saurian beasts. Of course, there were exemptions, with clones of the Tylosaurus, Dimorphodon, and Mosasaurus being bred as well. The subject of today's video happens to be a fan favorite flying reptile that happened to reside among these creatures. Today, we'll be going over the history of Jurassic Park's Pteranodon. Pteranodon would make its first appearance in the Jurassic Park franchise and Kenner's toy line for the first movie. The figure would become so well known and popular that it would make an appearance as one of Sid's abused toys in the 1995 film Toy Story. It would later be repainted for the JP Dinosaurs line several years after its initial release. Pteranodon was also given a die-cast figure that was sold for promotion of the original movie as well. It would later make its first official canon appearance at the very end of the Lost World Jurassic Park, where it is shown flying freely on the island. On a side note, this happens to be my personal favorite version of the animal in the film series. Due to it being in the second movie, a new figure of the animal was made for the Lost World toy line. In 2001, multiple Pteranodon toys were made for the promotion of Jurassic Park 3, which happened to be the first movie it got to really shine. Here, a different breed of Pteranodons are shown hunting our protagonists in the Site B birdcage. This variant of the species is far more aggressive than their Lost World counterparts, and happen to possess a beak full of teeth and striped color pattern. Apart from the films and toy lines, Pteranodon would also make prominent appearances in nearly all of Jurassic Park's video games. Jurassic Park for the arcade and Sega Genesis would feature the animal quite a bit, while the Chaos Continues for the Super Nintendo would include a unique variety of the animal that chose to reside in mountainous terrain. Pteranodon would later go on to appear in the Sega Genesis version of the Lost World as well. Interestingly enough, a Geosternbergia can be seen in the T-Rex levels of the PlayStation and Sega Saturn versions of the Lost World, as well as the arcade version of that game. This animal was at one point in time considered to be a species of Pteranodon, however quite recently, the animal was suggested to be different enough from Pteranodon longiceps to belong to its own distinct genus. If you look closely in the Lost World film, you can actually see that this version of the Pteranodon is factually shown with Roland Timbo's Dinosaur Guide. It's long been suggested that this could have been intended to be the male variation of InGen's cloned animals. Pteranodon also makes an appearance in nearly every single video game that was made to go alongside Jurassic Park 3, and was even given another toy release in 2009. During the franchise's history, several trading cards were made for the winged reptile, dating all the way back to the release of the first movie. Pteranodons would also show up in the IDW comic book story, Jurassic Park Redemption. In 2011, the reptiles would make their most controversial appearance when they were shown flying through the skies of Isla Nublar during the events of Jurassic Park the game. This particular variation of the animal happens to be the Jurassic Park 3 group that was believed to have been locked in the birdcage until 2001, making their appearance even more puzzling. Finally, the Pteranodon would get its newest incarnation in the new Jurassic World series. Here, the animals are shown to have distinctly shorter horns than their predecessors, and shared a large domed enclosure with the group of Dimorphodons. You can find this variant of the species appearing in new media like LEGO Jurassic World and all mobile tie-ins made for the new movies. Toys were also made for this new version of an already classic Jurassic Park reptile. With all of that being said, it's important to recognize the Pteranodon as one of the most diverse and interesting animals to come out of the franchise. Most of the time the creatures have made appearances, they've looked radically different to what was shown before, and their presence has always resulted in some undeniably iconic imagery. Now that I've gone over this creature's extensive history, I'd love to know what version of the Pteranodon all of you love the most. Are you a fan of the Lost World variant like myself, or do you prefer the ones that we got to see in either Jurassic Park 3 or the two new Jurassic World movies? I'd love to hear your opinions in the comments down below. Now before I go, I want to thank my game wardens, as well as all of my InGen executives. I'd also like to thank all of my park workers and InGen hunters as well. Taylor McMaster and the Red Joka. Words can't really express how awesome it is to have you guys tell me how much you enjoy the stuff I do, and I seriously am eternally grateful for every ounce of support that you've shown me. It honestly means the world. Now, I'd like to thank you all for watching this video, and hope that you all enjoy today's content. If you feel like I deserve it, I'd appreciate the like, and hope that you'll consider subscribing if you're interested in hearing from me again. I'll see you all in the next video, guys, and as always, take it easy.